I want to point something out in the scriptures, and if you will study it out yourself, you will realize that this is true. Now, if we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, Paul is writing. He says, "Now to the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord." So this is a command. This is doctrine. This is absolute. But in verse 12 he says, "But to the rest I, not the Lord, say." So this is Paul's advice. It's not doctrine, it's not command from the Lord. It's Paul's advice. He's giving his advice, which is very good advice. But he's giving his advice. And in verse 40, he is also giving his advice. He says, "According to my judgment." And he also says, "And I think I also have the Spirit of the Lord." So he's making it very clear here in these passages that he's giving commands from the Lord and the counsel of the Lord, but he's also giving his own judgment and his own advice. He's also inserting that in there. So that is like easy to see this. It's easy to understand that. Now Paul, if we skip over to 1 Timothy chapter 2, he says, "I desire therefore." So I'm assuming this is Paul's advice again. But in verse 12 he says, "And I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man, but to be in silence. For Adam was formed first, then Eve." And he says, "And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression." And in 1 Corinthians, I believe, chapter 7, he says, "The head of every man is Christ. The head of woman is man, and the head of Christ is God." So there is a divine order, there's a divine headship, and we can easily understand, I mean, this is how it is. This is biblical, and this is God. This is God's design. This is how it has been from the beginning. This is how God set it up, so we can easily understand why Paul is saying these things. And I don't know what he was going through, what exactly he meant when he told this to Timothy in the first epistle of Timothy. He said, "I do not permit a woman to teach." But in Acts chapter 21, Paul was in the house of Philip the evangelist, and he had 4 virgin daughters who prophesied, and Paul was in that house for many days, and they were prophesying and helping Paul. A lady who is under the headship of a man of God should be allowed to teach and to preach and to prophesy.